Prayer's always been really important to me. I remember just as a teenager when I would be on my way home from work, I would stop at this. It happened to be a Catholic church, but the door was always open. In those days, the church doors were never locked. And I would go in and just kneel and spend time in prayer.
One particular time was when I was when I had my heart transplant. And I wasn't necessarily praying to get a heart, but I was praying for peace and health, and there was a lot of comfort there. And every time I gained more comfort, then I found out that I was put on another prayer chain.
I generally try to pray, usually before I go to bed, and sometimes I'll pray in the mornings, sometimes just randomly throughout the day if I'm going through something hard.
I pray before every meal. I just silent because it's hard because not everywhere you can sit down and pray, but I usually say the Lord's Prayer before I eat, and I pray for people before I go to bed.
And I sometimes when I'm washing dishes and I'm really busy, but I can still have my mind going, or when I have know someone that's having a bad day or is really ill, then I like to be able to pray for them.
Sometimes it's difficult to pray when you kind of don't feel like it. I mean, there's days when it's I don't know, it just seems too hard to sit down and pray, but I always do because it's always worth it.
Well, actually, prayer is one of the things I kind of struggle with. I'm not very good at it, and it's something that doesn't come easy for me. So it's one of my growth areas, and I'm trying to do better. It's my niece was 21 years old when she passed away with cystic fibrosis. She was kind of towards the tail end of it, and she only had one small lobe of her lung left, and she went in for what would be a minor surgery and never came out of it. And it was very difficult for us, and we really struggled, myself in particular, with prayer after that for quite some time. It was very hard for me. I was very angry. And it was something that, you don't expect the answer to be what it ends up being. She passed away, but eventually we came to grips with the fact that she's in a better place now. She was in an extraordinary amount of pain. She was on morphine all the time, and it was more our greed that we wanted to keep her there. So, you think about God answering the prayers, and He definitely answered it, just not the way we wanted Him to.
I think prayer's always answered. Sometimes we have to listen more carefully for the answer. And we don't always obey the answer or accept it as the answer. We later realize, that maybe we missed that opportunity, but when we go our own way. But I think the answer is always there if we listen.